All rise for the national song, followed by the national anthem.
Vande जल जल की तरंगा तब शुभ नामे जागे तब शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तब जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
His Excellency Shri R.N. Ravi, Honorable Governor of West Bengal, Professor Kalobaran Maiti, Director IACS, Professor Shomobrata Acharya, Dean Administration and Staff Matters IACS, Ms. Sharbani Shaha, Registrar IACS, Shri Probir Manna, President SC/ST OBC Forum, respected dignitaries, faculty members, students, ladies and gentlemen, and my dear colleagues. Good morning and welcome to today's celebrations for the auspicious occasion of Ambedkar Jayanti. The Indian Association for the Cultivation of Science, where an era of 150 years of heritage and legacy shines with momentous glory, for it is not only the oldest scientific research institute in India, but has also evolved and truly stands out in its excellence and cutting-edge research, through its continuous endeavor in awakening and nurturing the scientific minds over many generations. Established in 1876 with the very thought of devotion to the pursuit of fundamental research in the frontier areas of basic sciences, the academicians and students of IACS have excelled in numerous fields of science with prominence in society-driven research. The second IACS campus, named as the Shama Prasad Mukherjee Advanced Research and Training Campus, or commonly known as the SMART Campus, coming up in Baruipur, certainly strengthens the pillar of success and hope for the future. Though through its long journey, IACS has practiced the motto of equality amongst all its members, staff, students, faculty, in letter and spirit. As always, IACS continues to celebrate this noble virtue with the Ambedkar Jayanti celebrations. IACS has consistently made endeavors to invite celebrated and renowned personalities on this special occasion to motivate and inspire us to uplift the weak and strengthen our society. Today, we are truly honored by the gracious presence of His Excellency Shri R.N. Ravi, Honorable Governor of West Bengal. Thank you, sir, and sincerely we are grateful for your time and presence at IACS. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar practiced and preached an inclusive democracy, fighting for the rights of Dalits, women, and poor laborers. He paved his righteous path alone when the powerful beings ignored and suppressed his ideals. His passionate essence can be expressed as, if they answer or not to thy call, walk alone. If they are afraid and mute, open thy mind and speak alone. The golden words of Kobiguru Rabindranath Thakur in his song, Jodi tor ডাক শুনে কেউ না আসে তবে একলা চলো রে, very aptly upholds his true spirit, and today this song will be performed by our students.
যদি তোর ডাক শুনে কেউ না আসে তবে একলা চলো রে যদি তোর ডাক শুনে কেউ না আসে তবে একলা চলো রে তবে একলা চলো একলা চলো একলা চলো একলা চলো রে তবে একলা চলো একলা চলো একলা চলো একলা চলো রে যদি তোর ডাক শুনে কেউ না আসে তবে একলা চলো রে যদি কেউ কথা না কয় ওরে ওরে ও অভাগা কেউ কথা না কয় যদি সবাই থাকে মুখ ফিরায় সবাই করে ভয় যদি সবাই থাকে মুখ ফিরায় সবাই করে ভয় তবে পরাণ খুলে তুই মুখ ফুটে তোর মনের কথা কথা একলা বলো রে, যদি তোর ডাক শুনে কেউ না আসে তবে একলা চলো রে, যদি তোর ডাক শুনে কেউ না আসে তবে একলা চলো রে। যদি সবাই ফিরে যায় ওরে ওরে ও অভাগা সবাই ফিরে যায়, যদি গহন পথে যাবার কালে কেউ ফিরে না চায়, যদি গহন পথে যাবার কালে কেউ ফিরে না চায়, তবে পথের কাঁটাও তুই রক্ত মাখা চরণ তলে একলা দলরে, যদি তোর ডাক শুনে কেউ না আসে তবে একলা চলো রে, যদি তোর ডাক শুনে কেউ না আসে তবে একলা চলো রে। যদি আলো না ধরে ওরে ওরে ও অভাগা আলো না ধরে, যদি ঝড় বাদলে আধার রাতে দুয়ার দেয় ঘরে, যদি ঝড় বাদলে আধার রাতে দুয়ার দেয় ঘরে, তবে বজ্রা নলে আপন বুকের পাঁজর জ্বালিয়ে নিয়ে একলা চলো রে, যদি তোর ডাক শুনে কেউ না আসে তবে একলা চলো রে, যদি তোর ডাক শুনে কেউ না আসে তবে একলা চলো রে।
Thank you, students. May I request Mr. Praveen Manna, President of the SC/ST OBC Forum, to give his welcome address.
Good morning, everybody. His Excellency Sri R.N. Ravi, Honorable Governor of West Bengal, Professor Kalobaran Maiti, Director IACS, Professor Somobroto Acharya, Dean Administration and Chairman of Organizing Committee, and Srimati Sharbani Shah, Registrar, other dignitaries, guests, faculty members, my colleagues, and students. Being the representative of SC/ST OBC community of IACS, who are commonly known as Dalit in the society, I do heartily welcome you all on the auspicious occasion in celebrating the 135th birth anniversary of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, the chief architect of drafting the Indian Constitution in the form we see, though there are several changes or amendments meanwhile, and the national leader. Unfortunately, Dr. Ambedkar is branded or categorized as the leader of oppressed class. But the fact is that his contribution towards development of the nation is equal or even more than any other national leader you may cited even today. Before a few months, our Honorable President of India, in an occasion of convocation, remarked, Ambedkar मेरे लिए भगवान समान है. I am unfortunate to witness the blessing of the so-called Bhagavan, but I have experienced and witnessed the journey of a boy started his career as a worker in the tailoring shop to obtain or to manage a government job without having any opportunity to guide him by others or any uncle or auntie to recommend him. I get delighted to have any opportunity to say something about Dr. Ambedkar, and really I am thankful to our administration and the managing committee, organizing committee, to provide me the opportunity to say something here. Considering the constraint of time, I would conclude with 2 lines in Hindi, and I apologize for my Hindi pronunciation as English pronunciation too, that इंसानों को गुलाम बनाकर हजारों बादशाह बने, इंसानों को गुलाम बनाकर हजारों बादशाह बने, लेकिन गुलामों को इंसान बनाकर एक ही बादशाह बने, लेकिन गुलामों को इंसान बनाकर एक ही बच्चा बने, वो है डॉक्टर B.R. Ambedkar. Thanking you all once more. Jai Bhim, Jai Bharat.
Thank you, Mr. Manna. May I now request Professor Shomobrata Acharya, Dean Administration and Staff Matters IACS, to give his welcome address.
Good morning to all. It's my proud privilege and great honor to warmly welcome Honorable Governor of West Bengal, His Excellency Sri R.N. Ravi, to the Indian Association for the Cultivation of Science, IACS, Kolkata. We are deeply grateful to Your Excellency for kindly accepting our invitation and gracing this occasion with your esteemed presence. Your visit is a matter of immense pride and inspiration for all of us. I also extend warm welcome to the distinguished directors of neighboring institutes, vice chancellors of neighboring locations, our students and researchers, staffs and faculty members all together. The Indian Association for the Cultivation of Science, founded by the visionary Dr. Mahendralal Sarkar in 1876, is the oldest research institute. Many visionaries and luminaries worked in this institute. Professor Sir C.B. Raman worked here and discovered the Raman effect, for which he earned the Nobel Prize in Science, and that's the first Nobel Prize in India in science. This year, especially very significant for us, as IACS is celebrating its 158th year. And in this research journey, we are proud that today we pay tribute to Bharat Ratna, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, the chief architect of Indian Constitution. He was the chairman of the committee and worked relentlessly to include justice, equality, freedom, and dignity to all the citizens of India. The Constitution is the strongest pillar of this largest democracy today. And Your Excellency, your gracious presence among us today will greatly encourage our students, researchers, staffs, and faculty members to pursue excellence in research, innovation, societal progress, and nation building with renewed dedication. Once again, on behalf of the entire IACS family, I extend our heartiest welcome to the Honorable Governor of West Bengal. Thank you. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
Thank you, sir. May I request Professor Kalabaran Maiti, Director IACS, to give his welcome address.
Good morning, His Excellency, Honorable Governor Sri Ravindra Narayan Raviji, for kindly accepting our invitation and honoring us coming here in this very special occasion. Distinguished guests, my dear colleagues, honored of the dais, faculty, staffs, and students. Today we are here for a very special occasion of the birth anniversary of Dr. Bhimrao Ramji Ambedkar, a titan of Indian history and the father of the Indian Constitution. I am extremely delighted and feel proud that our Honorable Governor, a great leader and a social reformer, is with us on this very special event. Dr. Ambedkar, he was born on 14th April 1891 in an underprivileged class family. He defied all odds in a society plagued by caste discrimination and became one of the most educated Indians of his time, with degrees from Columbia University and the London School of Economics. Dr. Ambedkar was a revolutionary social reformer. He recognized that the true independence means freedom from discrimination of caste system. He spent his entire life fighting for the rights of Dalits and marginalized communities. As the chairman of the drafting committee of the Constitution of India, he gave us guidelines of our foundational laws ensuring democratic values, individual liberty, equality, and fraternity. Dr. Ambedkar was a strong advocate for women's empowerment. He believed that the progress of a community is measured by the progress women have made. I'm extremely proud to state that IACS, the first research institute in Asia, where India started its journey to science, was built with same philosophy about 150 years back by one of the greatest visionary and a legendary doctor, Dr. Mahendralal Sarkar, who was personal doctor of Thakur Ramakrishna Paramahansa and Rishi Bankim Chandra. Around mid-19th century, under the British rule, India was going through a very difficult time with highly limited scope for Indians to learn science. Educational institutions were established essentially to train Indians to facilitate British dynasty. Few institutions such as surveys were, of course, having advanced instruments, but they were not allowed to be used by Indians. At this difficult time, Dr. Sarkar established IACS to cultivate science in all its departments by original research and to its varied applications for the arts and comforts of life and women education. He emphasized the importance of leadership by Indians. A history was created 150 years back to build a self-reliant India. Almost the entire intellectual fraternity was associated with IACS in various capacity. Pandit Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar, Ashutosh Mukhopadhyay, Acharya Prafulla Chandra Ray, Jagdish Chandra Bose, Father Lafo, C.V. Raman, Shyama Prasad Mukherjee, K.S. Krishnan, Meghnad Saha, Satyendranath Bose, Amal Rai Chaudhary, and so on. India got the Science Nobel Prize for the discovery of Raman effect. I'm extremely happy and proud to be part of IACS, which created an unparalleled legacy in India. Around the time of independence, IACS got another visionary leader, Professor Meghnad Saha. I just should say a few words about him. He is the architect of many Indian scientific organizations. The two major science academy, INSA and NASI, was established by him. Dr. Saha also belonged to underprivileged class and had to struggle all through his life till his master's degree. He was one of the most brilliant physicists of the time who could have got Nobel Prize for the discovery of ionization theory. He was a firm believer of grassroots level teaching without discrimination and realized the importance of big experimental facilities. This institute was originally established at 210 Beaubazar Street. He realized that this building was not adequate to take care of the need of scientific need of the country. So the present campus at Jadavpur was built in 1948. The foundation stone was laid by another legendary doctor, Dr. Bidhan Chandra Roy. Professor Saha restructured the academic program and administration, and he was the first director of IACS. He served ceaselessly to build IACS till the day he died in 1956. We are now a deemed university. We are the only DST institute which offers excellent teaching programs starting from bachelor's degree. We have stepped into 158th year of our glorious journey. IACS continues to produce high-quality research in physics, chemistry, biology, mathematics, and computer science. We are the top-ranked DST institute, and many of our colleagues continue to get national and international recognitions. IACS built the first amorphous silicon solar cell, inventing a novel way to grow in PECVD method, and the technology was transferred to industry. We have an excellent outreach program for capacity building in science. We are creating a unique science museum showcasing how India started its journey to science with the establishment of IACS. Our colleagues goes to scheduled tribe populated area to expose students to science and technology, encourage them to take up science as career under various programs such as DST Seed program. Under the visionary leadership of our Honorable Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi ji, India is now going through a tremendous reform in science ecosystem to make India self-reliant. IACS is also taking several steps to address national priorities. One such attempt, of course, to establish a new campus at Baruipur, Syama Prasad Mukherjee Center for Advanced Research and Teaching, where we plan to establish world-class university in line with national education policy and a science park. Emphasis will be given on advanced spectral microscopy, green energy, sustainable environment, therapeutics to combat antimicrobial resistance. Let me conclude by remembering the key ingredients of the society emphasized by Dr. Ambedkar. He showed the power of education despite facing severe discrimination. He obtained degrees from top institutions in the globe. He believed education is a key to empowerment. He was a social reformer at its best. He worked tirelessly against untouchability system, promoting equality for women, laborers, and marginalized. He showed that talent and determination can overcome any hurdle. As we remember this great leader, let us pledge to uphold his ideals of equality and social justice, building a nation where everyone is treated with respect and fairness. Today we are honored and privileged to have His Excellency West Bengal Governor Sri Ravi ji with us. On behalf of IACS and on my personal behalf, heartfelt greetings to him for kindly accepting our invitation and giving us time from his extremely busy schedule. A big round of applause for him for being with us. Thank you, sir. And a heartiest welcome to you all, and thank you very much for your kind attention. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir. May I request Professor Kaloboron Maiti, Director IACS, to felicitate His Excellency Shri R.N. Ravi, Honorable Governor of West Bengal. We now invite Shri R.N. Ravi, Honorable Governor of West Bengal, His Excellency, for his distinguished lecture.
Distinguished dignitaries on the dais, Director of this illustrious institution, Professor Kaloboron Maiti, Dean Administration, Professor Somabrata Acharya, Registrar, Srimati Sarbani Saha, President, SC/ST OBC Forum, Sri Prabir Manna, distinguished faculties, esteemed scientists, distinguished invitees, my dear students, gracious ladies and gentlemen, at the very outset, I'd like to convey my deep sense of thanks and gratitude to the director and the organizers for giving me this opportunity to come to this campus. Coming here is a humbling and exciting experience for me. Imagine 150 years ago, when our country was so thoroughly suppressed and oppressed, European powers, mostly the British, they had done everything possible to destroy all the good things, good institutions, and good practices of this country. And at that time, there was a spirit of national awakening and resurgence. A year before this institution was founded, Rishi Bankim Chandra Chattopadhyay composed Vande Mataram, the song that galvanized the whole nation. It showed them the path forward for reclaiming the glory of Bharat by emphasizing that we are all the children of the same mother, Bharat Mata. And a year later, we find a great visionary, Dr. Mahendralal Sarkar. He conceived and creates an institution, personification of a dream that Bharat has to have its own centers, its own institution to build science, scientific knowledge, because he knew that with the power of a steam engine and gunpowder, the Europe had colonized most of the world, including Bharat. The science had given them enormous power, a brute power, and that led to asymmetric concentration of wealth and power among the European countries. So, importance, the cruciality of science for empowerment, for growth. Dr. Mahendralal Sarkar understood, and he not only understood, but he translated that understanding into concrete shape by creating this institution, Indian Association for Cultivation of Science. I pay my humble tribute to the great soul, the great visionary, who at that point of time took a bold decision and created an institution which produced a galaxy of great scientists, of which Bharat is proud, the world is proud. I feel humbled that it was this institution where great scientists like Sir C.V. Raman, J.C. Bose, S.N. Bose, Meghnad Saha, they all lived, walked, worked. I feel the silent and yet palpable vibration of that dream, that energy that gave a call for national renewal and national resurgence. Visiting this place is like a pilgrimage for me. The day becomes all the more important because we are here commemorating one of the greatest men the Bharat produced, a polymath, a genius, a great human being, like of whom appears once in ages, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. We know that he gave us a beautiful constitution, a resilient constitution, a constitution with a foresight and flexibility, with the resilience to keep a country of this size together and marching ahead. But he did much more than that. He was a great nationalist. At the time when the British were seeking to divide this country in countries and country society in multiple ways, when the consciousness for freedom was gaining momentum, they began dissecting the society by creating separate electorates for separate communities. First, they created a separate electorate for Muslims with the patronage of Muslim League. Subsequently, they created separate electorate for Sikhs. That in the provincial councils that they had created, in the name of so-called devolution of power, some power to the locals, to the natives, for representation in those councils, these communities will constitute separate electorate, and they alone would elect their representative, dividing the society. And after the Statutory Commission, popularly known Simon's Commission, when they were working on their reports, they divided. They thought yet another device to divide the country. They conceived of the idea of a separate electorate for Dalits. That means Dalits would, and they alone would elect their representative in the council. Initially, Baba Saheb, who had suffered so much, he thought that perhaps this is an idea which could be thought over. But then immediately he realized the design of the British, their machinations, and then he resisted that. He said, no. There would be and there will be a representation of the Dalit, but chosen by not only Dalits, but by all the communities living in that constituency. And that gave the idea of reservation, not on the basis of communal electorates, but representative for the community, for the suppressed and oppressed communities, but elected by all. We all know that he gave the constitution in the most difficult circumstances. Imagine when the Constituent Assembly began functioning, Muslim League representative or members to it had boycotted it because they insisted on partition of this country. Princely estates representative, they had not participated because they were ambivalent, they were thinking, working out their own future. They were not sure whether being part of the Constituent Assembly would bind them to be part of this country. The country was facing all kinds of problems. And under those most strenuous circumstances, Baba Saheb could stitch together and give us the most beautiful document. The country will ever remain indebted to him, grateful to him. 75 years, over 75 years down the line, since the Constitution was promulgated, since Bharat became a republic, a democratic republic, we are proud to say the world, and the world is proud of us, that here is an example of living and thriving largest democracy in the world. Look at the neighborhood. The situation tells you a lot. But Bharat's democracy, it not only has survived, it has prospered. Its institutions have grown robust. But then, something happened. That constitution which Baba Saheb had drafted and Constituent Assembly had adopted and given to the country, it was a document, it is a document supposed to be belonging to the people of this country. There were promises made when the Republic of Bharat was created through the Constitution, because Bharat as a civilizational nation existed for several thousand years ago. But a political Republic of Bharat was created with the promulgation of the Constitution. At the time, the Republic had made certain bold promises. And the first is justice. Social justice, economic justice, and political justice. Of course, it makes promise of providing the justice to one and all. Promise of liberty, equality, fraternity. But 75 years down the line, what is the status? And why is it so? So it is not enough that we just symbolically celebrate Baba Saheb, but it's also important that we must follow his advice of critical thinking. That the document that belonged to the country, to the people of this country, how much literacy we have about our constitution among our people. Everywhere, even among the intelligentsia, among the academics. Let us say I'm talking about the IACS. How many of us we are familiar with the Constitution? We know there is a Constitution, there are promises we made. We know that there is a division in the state and union and state. We have, legislature, we have executive and sort of judiciary. The general sense we have. But constitutional literacy is missing. And it was deliberate. Because Baba Saheb himself was slowly by design, erased from, or attempts were made to erase him from popular consciousness. We know that how he was not even allowed to enter the parliament. He was defeated by then the ruling establishment in the most humiliating manner. Because he was such an intellectual giant, he was such a visionary that people, the power that be, they felt unsettled with his presence. His legacy remained largely to symbolism. The promises that the Constitution made could be fulfilled if the people of this country remained literate about the Constitution. Let me elaborate. We all talk about social justice. Now 75 years down the line, how many generations have passed? It is the third generation. How many more generations will need to attain that justice? And why Is it that it is taking such a long time? Why justice, which is supposed to be a public good, easily available to every citizen of this country, why it is perhaps among the most expensive commodity today? People are scared to go to police station. But I think they are far more scared to go to court. We know that our prisons are filled with poor people. Not necessarily that because they have committed crime, but because they cannot afford justice, the cost of justice. A good lawyer, expensive lawyer, who can bail them out. Something which was promised to be a public good is commercialized to an extent that someone with a deep pocket walks away with justice. It is an institutional malaise. There are well-meaning judges who pour out their heart occasionally, but as an institution, the reality is that justice is highly expensive. Some time back, I was invited to an event where law students of the final year, they were conducting moot court. And the Chief Justice of the High Court was present there. After this moot court presentation by the students, the Chief Justice delivered a talk. He hailed the law students not for choosing a career which has enormous potential to dispense justice, but he hailed them for choosing a profession which is so lucrative. And he quoted about half a dozen names of so-called successful advocates of Supreme Court who filed their income tax return in 100 crores. For me, it was a shock. Mainstreaming of commercialization of justice. Are we being faithful to him? Are we being faithful to ourselves? Why is it that? Their questions needs answer. And when it comes to justice to the weaker section, it is all the worst situation. Look at the conviction rates. Conviction rates for crimes against Dalits is so low, relatively compared to others. So low, abysmally low. Now, these questions have to be asked. And this can be asked only when we know, we are literate about the Constitution and the promises that it has made. It took almost 75 years for the Prime Minister of India to declare this year as the year of Constitution and try to spread constitutional literacy among schools, among institutions, schools and colleges. It's a serious business. Baba Saheb did a lot more. The constitution that he gave, if we do not understand, then there's a lot of debates and discussions which are going in public domain, which are much of noise, mostly political noise. We don't get a sense because Constitution gives us the bearing, it's the compass. We hear a lot nowadays about federalism. What was Baba Saheb's view on that? There are people who make a lot of noise that India's federalism is under threat. It's a political noise. But the fact that, and for that, I would urge, and I do urge all the time, go through the Constituent Assembly debates and see what Baba Saheb talked about these issues. When the question came, what should be the nature of our polity, Bharat's polity, there were some members who said we should be federal. Baba Saheb vehemently rejected it. He says that the moment you say federal, federalism is not an Indian concept. It's a Western concept where independent powers, independent countries have come together, signed a contract to live together. United States of America is an example. Bharat is not born out of contract of various independent ruling dispensations. Bharat as a Rashtra one Rashtra has survived for thousands of years. So that is why he chose the word union. And in Indian languages, he called Sangha. Sangha. And we know what Sangha is, because Sangha is a living reality. We are familiar with Buddhist Sangha and so many Sangha. It is an organic, collective, where each unit is connected with the rest as a body, as a cell, living cell in a living body. And he says no. So the issue was debated and rejected. And that is why the Article 1 of the Indian Constitution says Bharat is, India, that is Bharat, is union of states. Bharat राज्यों का संघ है. But the moment you say federalism, the mind comes to American federalism. Mind comes to Western federalism. And that is the centrifugal tendencies. There is a division of power. But overall, Baba Saheb made it very clear that it has been, the Bharat can be held together only if there is a center which is strong enough to curb the centrifugal tendencies. And that is why created various articles in the Constitution, including common judiciary. Judiciary is not in the state list. It is a common. Several institutions they created. But when there is a debate today, somebody tries to make noise about it, if the people are aware of what federalism means and what views Baba Saheb had, and which he expressed it so elegantly in the Constituent Assembly, perhaps the response would be more mature. Take the case of secularism. At the time, one member of Constituent Assembly, Mr. K.K. Mehta, he raised the issue that what should be the nature of our polity, what should be the orientation of our polity towards religion. And he said, should it not be secular? Baba Saheb vehemently rejected it. The whole Constituent Assembly unanimously rejected it. He says that secularism is an European concept. It is born out of conflict between the king and the church. It comes out of hostility. Bharat has been a land where every faith has prospered. Faith which originated in foreign countries, they have come and prospered here. When they were persecuted somewhere else, they prospered here in Bharat. Bharat has equal respect for all faith. Now, having equal respect for all faith is not secularism. Secularism is distancing from the faiths. It's born out of hostility. So Baba Saheb rejected, and Constituent Assembly rejected it, which through back door, during emergency, it was brought in our preamble. But the essence of that, even when it was brought in during emergency, Sardar Swaran Singh, who had piloted the bill, he said, our secularism is not European secularism. Then what it is? Did we create a proper expression for it? And look at the deception. In the Constitution, when the word secularism was introduced, the expression used in Indian languages was Panth Nirpeksh, not Dharma Nirpeksh. Panth, you have countless panth. We have a lot of sampradayas. A state will not have an allegiance to one particular panth. But in all our literature, right from school to colleges and debates, it became Dharma Nirpeksh. Baba Sahib had made it clear that secularism, European secularism, is against civilizational consciousness of Bharat, of India. Now, all these deceptions have been happening because Constitution, which was meant for the people of this country, it became the document for the elite. Maybe the government, which uses it the way they want, or judiciary, the judges, or the lawyers. Why? It is made so complex that to understand our document made by our people for us, we have to, this is not quantum science, quantum mechanics. It's a simple document. But it is made so complex and taken away from the people. So what is needed is constitutional literacy. We must make it a mission that more and more people in our institutions, in our schools, our colleges, and wherever we are, we must know it because this is a fundamental document. It is something which should be available in every home. It is a sacred text. It is not to be kept only in the judges or lawyers' libraries. It is something which must be present in every home. And that's what Baba Sahib had intended. But we didn't do that. Friends, Baba Sahib was futuristic. He knew, he could foresee the threats that this country might face, major threats. In his last speech in the Constituent Assembly, his last concluding speech, having dwelt upon the various aspects of it, summarized it in the most beautiful and cogent manner, which only he could do it. He expressed his apprehension. His apprehension. He said, my biggest worry is today we are independent, we are free. Are we, or will we be able to keep this freedom? And then he quotes, he says that not that India was always enslaved. No, it was not. And then he narrates, and I urge you all to read that speech. He's concluding a speech in the Constituent Assembly. He says that it's not that India was always enslaved, but it became slave. It was conquered, colonized. And then he narrates the story from our history. He says, imagine when invasion of Sindh happened, Muhammad bin Qasim invaded Sindh. Who betrayed Dahir Sain? Our own people. He further goes, he says, when Rana Pratap fought the Mughals, who fought Rana Pratap? He's our own people, Man Singh and others. When He further quotes, when Chhatrapati Shivaji was fighting the cruel atrocities of Aurangzeb, who was fighting Shivaji? Our own rulers, our own kings. When Maharaja Ranjit Singh, the great Sikh ruler, king, when he was fighting the British, who betrayed him? Your own people, Lal Singh, Teja Singh. They betrayed him. And then he says, will we not repeat the history? Will we not betray again? And he gave us the caution that don't think this freedom is forever unless you are vigilant about it. He also mentioned that the biggest threats will be the threats within, enemies within, our own people. He said that country, the constitution that will govern, but it's fine, it is only a book. The institutions that it creates, those institutions have to grow, and there has to be popular trust in those institutions. And that is precisely happened, that our institutions grew. We know how independent our judiciary is. Independent, fiercely independent. We know how independent are our other constitutional institutions. The world swear by the Election Commission of India. Conducting election in such a large country in a manner so transparent, so fair. The people across the world, they come and learn. Even the advanced countries, they come and learn the mechanics of our electoral process. Unfortunately today, there are people within who are undermining the credibility of these institutions. When you don't get a favorable order, judiciary is compromised. When you win an election, fine. If you lose an election, you say election commission is compromised. Where are we leading? Instead of institutional remedies, you try to create distrust in the mind of the people against our institutions. And that's very, very dangerous. These are the enemies within, against whom Baba Sahib had cautioned us, alerted us. There are people who would be dancing, keeping the constitution on the head. But they are able to do so because many of our people, they are not constitutional literate. We must ensure constitutional literacy must grow. It doesn't mean that one has to be completely familiar with so many case laws and all. The basic document, the promises that it made, institutions that it created, responsibilities that is vested in the institutions. If a responsibility is vested in the institution through the constitution, and if anyone raises a noise against it, it is not correct. People know that, look, what you are talking is nonsense. This doesn't, we have to. This is not an anarchist society. This is a rule-based, law-based society. And that would be a true tribute to this great man, making us conscious of it, so that the justice which we talk about, we often say he's a champion of social justice. He was champion of so many things. The question is, why is it that even after 3 generations, people have to wait for it and justice becoming so expensive? These questions, we have to find answer to that. this institution, IACS, it was conceived and created for critical thinking, fundamental research in science. But we know that a great scientist, a contribution that it makes the country great. But the fruits of it must reach the common people. And how? To ensure that our scientists, our research scholars are able to think. They cannot be just in a silos. It's not advisable, it's not good. That's your core area you work, and you must. But we must keep our mind open, because these great minds are great leaders to whom the society, the country, the nation looks up to. I am sure this institution, which carries on regularly, celebrates the event commemorating the great man, the great leader, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, would also encourage students to go through the Constituent Assembly debates, what all he did, what all he said, so that a more informed discussion and debates take place in the society. I'm sure this institution will do that. We are all proud of it. I once again thank the director and these organizers for giving me this opportunity to visit this place, to feel the energy of the dream which was seen 150 years ago, and which is far more relevant today when our country is now coming up. It's a time for national renewal, national resurgence. We know that at the time when country became independent, we had become poorer. At the time of colonization, we were the largest economy of the world, almost 1/3 of the world economy. But colonization depleted our resources. We became the 6th. But in the subsequent 70 years, we dropped down to 11th. We became poorer. We kept talking about removing poverty, but reality is we continued becoming poorer. We didn't invest much in creation of knowledge. In the World Intellectual Property Organization report, annual report, till about a few years ago, we were nowhere. Today, things are changing. Today, we are the 4th largest economy in the world. And the world acknowledges that soon we are going to be the number 3. Over 30 crores people have been pulled out of absolute poverty. From nowhere in the startup ecosystem, we are among the top 3 startup ecosystem in the world. In the field of science and technology, our young men and women are doing wonders. This is a time of national resurgence, national awakening, national renewal. And this institution will continue playing its role as a vanguard, because every moment of this institution, it must be those who are here, they must be conscious of the fact that you are carrying the legacy of a dream that was of making an Atmanirbhar, Viksit Bharat. That was a dream which was taken 150 years ago. And I'm sure you will be able to do that. You will succeed in your mission. Thank you very much. Jai Bharat.
Thank you, sir, for your valuable words. May I now request Ms. Sharwani Shaha, Registrar IACS, to give the vote of thanks.
His Excellency, respected Governor of West Bengal, Shri R.N. Ravi, Director, Deans, distinguished guests, faculty members, researchers, students, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Indian Association for the Cultivation of Science, it is my proud privilege to propose the vote of thanks at the conclusion of this inspiring and intellectually enriching seminar organized in observance of Ambedkar Jayanti. Today's gathering has been a meaningful tribute to the enduring legacy of Bharat Ratna Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, a visionary scholar, a jurist, economist, social reformer, and a principal architect of Constitution of India. His life and ideas continue to inspire generation in the pursuit of equality, justice, education, and scientific temper. It is especially significant that this seminar has been hosted at IACS, an institution founded in 1876 by Dr. Mohenjo-lal Sarkar, with the noble objective of advancing scientific knowledge in India. The ideals of enlightenment, national inquiry, and social progress that guided both Dr. Ambedkar and Dr. Sarkar resonate deeply with the mission of our institution. At the outset, I express our deepest gratitude to His Excellency, the Honorable Governor of West Bengal, for graciously accepting our invitation and delivering such an illuminating and thought-provoking address. Your Excellency's reflections on the relevance of Dr. Ambedkar's vision in contemporary India have greatly enriched this seminar and inspired all present here. We are truly honored by your august presence, sir, at our institution. Sir, your perspectives have deepened our understanding of Dr. Ambedkar's multifaceted legacy and continuing significance in shaping an inclusive and progressing society. Our heartfelt appreciation goes to the director, faculty members, scientists, academic staff, and students of IACS, whose dedication and participation has made this program a stupendous success. I also acknowledge the efforts of the organizing committee, the administrative officers, technical staff, security personnel, and all the supporting teams who worked tirelessly behind the scenes to ensure the smooth conduct of today's event. My heartfelt and highest appreciation to the SC/ST OBC Forum of IACS for their unwavering dedication to honoring Dr. B.R. Ambedkar's legacy and keeping his vision of equality and justice alive through these annual seminars. I would particularly like to thank the Department of Science and Technology, Government of India, for its continued support to IACS as an autonomous research institute and a deemed to be university. Such support enables institutions like ours to uphold the values of scientific excellence, social responsibility, and nation building. I thank all the dignitaries, guests, members of the media, and every participant for being part of this memorable occasion and contributing to its success through your presence and engagement. With these words, I once again convey our sincere gratitude to everyone assembled here today. Thank you all. Jai Hind.
All rise for the national song, followed by the national anthem.
वन्दे मातरम् वन्दे मातरम् सुजलां सुफलां मलयज शीतलां शस्य श्यामलां मातरं वन्दे मातरम् शुभ्रज्योत्स्ना पुलकितयामिनी फुल्लकुसुमिता द्रुमदलशोभिनी सुहासिनी सुमधुरभाषिणी सुखदां वरदां मातरं वन्दे मातरम् कोटि कोटि कंठ कल कल निनाद करले कोटि कोटि भुजे धृत कर करवाले अबला के तुमा एतो बोले बहुबल धारिणी नमामि तारिणी रिपुदल वारिणी मातरं वन्दे मातरम् तुमि विद्या तुमि धर्मा तुमि हृदि तुमि मर्मा त्वं हि प्राणा शरीरे बाहुते तुमि मा शोक्ति हृदये तुमि मा भक्ति তোমারই প্রতিমা করি মন্দিরে মন্দিরে বন্দে মাতরম ত্বং হি দুর্গা দশ প্রহরণ ধারিণী কমলা কমল দল বিহারিণী वाणी विद्या दायिनी नमामि तां नमामि कमलां कमलां अतुलां सुजलां सुफलां मातरं वन्दे मातरम् श्यामलां सरलां सुस्मितां भूषितां धरणीं भरणीं मातरं वन्दे मातरम् वन्दे मातरम् जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंधु गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल बंग विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्छल जलधि तरंग तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मागे गाहे तव जय गाथा जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
হয়েছে